cheat on your wife, that makes you a scumbag. Let's just start there, full stop.
The CEO of a billion-dollar business is in damage control after his affair with a colleague was exposed.
We're going to continue to expand globally.
Andy Byron, CEO of a billion-dollar AI company, and Kristen Cabot, his head of human resources, were seen shrinking in panic at the concert. He's married with teenage children. Kristen Cabot has been divorced for 3 years. She was hired just 8 months ago. And now that 15 seconds of video is having a devastating impact on both of their lives.
An employee accuses CEO Andy of being toxic, says former employees are cracking up over the video. The married CEO was caught on the big screen with the company's HR chief at the Coldplay concert.
It would appear the future of his marriage doesn't look as exciting.
I feel like this isn't a good way, and if you're going to get caught cheating, it shouldn't be like this.
Well, maybe he should have thought of that before he was cheating.
It took a scientist to figure out that they didn't want us to see whatever we saw.
Yeah. Man, he dropped out real quick and turned.
Yeah, because he just realized how many millions of dollars he lost.
Yeah, exactly.
This requires, to me, not one, but 2 resignations.
You do have to think about the children and the spouses. We're all laughing about it, but they're all families and stuff.
There are a lot of family.
I think cheating is an abomination, okay? And this man has a wife, he has children, these kids are gonna have to watch and see this. They don't look, I would be devastated if I was his wife.
This Kiss Cam zeroes in on mortified tech CEO Andy Byron and alleged HR chief mistress Kristen Cabot.
Please stop with the video saying that this was a kiss cam incident. In my honest opinion, when I think back to last night and that whole scenario, someone knew something about those two people being there together. Whether it had been an employee, cameraman in that section knew, I don't know, someone knew something. Someone knew who he was, she was.
And then someone's gonna end up being at the top. Hey, look, that's a $1 billion company. So, in the corporate world, tech, especially tech, bro, it's a dirty game. People got to do what they got to do to get to the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was, somebody who works there or somebody who wants that spot.
This is more than just an affair. This is something that has been building for years. You have to think about it. The corruption of this. The head of a billion-dollar company has the HR department in his back pocket.
Okay, so there's a photo of them, right? This is their little tech company. This is Andy Byron. And right down here is the chief people officer.
Because I'm telling you right now, that couple, they were up high. They were like in the nosebleeds. And prior to them being zoomed in on, Chris Martin was talking to everyone who's talking in the audience. The camera people were zooming in on. I think there was a couple on the floor that they, zoomed in on. There was a boy celebrating a birthday. I think there was another guy celebrating his birthday. They even zoomed in on I think it was 3 or 4 girls wearing a banana costume. Something is sketchy though, because I'm telling you right now, that was not a coincidence at all. There was no kiss cam happening around, no one else. They were not zooming in on random couples. Someone absolutely knew who those two people were, and boom, guess what? They made it on the camera.
This man says he's a former employee of Andy Byron, the man who was caught having an affair with the head of his HR department at a Coldplay concert. And this guy's story is why this affair is more than just an affair. Listen to what he has to say.
If you think his marriage is the only thing that Andy Byron ran into the ground, then I've got a funny story about karma for you. Before being Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron was also Chief Revenue Officer of a different software company, where he hired a lot of hardworking, great people with high hopes for their careers by promising them the opportunity of a lifetime that would completely change their future, solve any financial worries their family or children might ever have. I also had the questionable privilege of being interviewed and hired by him.
But apparently, this couple will not be fans of Coldplay for long.
They're both married, not for long.
So Coldplay hasn't made a single in years, and now they just made 2 last night.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Oh, honey, grab your popcorn, because this is not just another tech scandal. This is full-on drama. And no, Andy Byron didn't just trip into controversy by accident. According to an explosive insider, this man orchestrated the chaos like he was writing the script himself. Turns out one of his ex-employees has had enough and just lit a match under Andy's crumbling empire. And what an empire it was, built not on innovation, but on fear, manipulation, and straight-up sleaze. Yup, according to this insider, Andy wasn't just the CEO of Astronomer, he was the puppet master. Behind all the startup glamour and AI buzzwords, he was allegedly yanking strings, whispering commands, and making backdoor moves while playing the polished CEO on stage.
You can imagine he's very persuasive, considering he managed to convince his own chief people officer to go to a public concert while they were having an affair. He also convinced me and a lot of my former colleagues to join him in that company. He convinced investors to invest almost $2 billion.
And you know what's worse? People inside the company saw it all. The favoritism, the shady promotions, and oh, don't even get us started on Kristen Cat. Yep, that Kristen. HR boss turned alleged side chick who somehow magically flew up the corporate ladder. Coincidence? Please. Real talent was ignored while Andy ran the office like it was his personal frat house. And if you dared to call it out, bam, you were iced out given the silent treatment, written up over nothing, or conveniently restructured out of a job. But let's call it what it really was, retaliation. And Kristen? Oh, she wasn't just complicit. According to this insider, she was allegedly weaponized. The queen of HR turned Andy's ultimate enforcer. Together, they ruled that place like a power-hungry duo straight out of an HBO series. Toxic, terrifying, and completely unchecked.
Myself and countless other employees invested their savings into employee stock options, and in a tale as old as capitalism itself, when the company went bust and was sold off for pennies on the dollar, him and other top-level executives left with golden parachutes worth millions of dollars, while low-level employees like myself and many of my colleagues lost tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of their own savings.
There's one line from the whistleblower that hits hard. At Astronomer, the rules didn't apply to Andy. They applied to everyone around Andy. Let that sink in. This wasn't just a messy office romance. It was a whole network of intimidation and career sabotage. People lost jobs, futures were shattered. Also, this man could feel untouchable. He used HR like a human shield. And honestly, that's terrifying.
They've now locked all their comments. Oh no. Oh no. Is Andy Byron and HR having an affair still hold their positions at the company? Is it ethical?
The problem here is that Andy Byron is married to someone other than Kristen Cabot, who, again, the irony of her being head of HR, and he has 2 children.
Forget the Epstein files. I want to see the text messages of that astronomer CEO that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the office.
This is pretty viral stuff. Or do we have to get HR involved? I know that HR was involved.
And then came the moment, the fall, the exposure. And it didn't happen in a boardroom or court case. It happened on the freaking kiss cam at a Coldplay concert. Yes, you heard that right. One awkward snuggle, one split second of pure panic caught on camera, and boom, the mask slipped. There he was, Andy Byron, billionaire tech CEO, snuggled up with Kristen like a teenager at prom, on the Jumbotron, at a sold-out stadium. There was no spinning it. No PR team could save him from that shot.
2 lessons out of this. If somebody promises a no-brainer opportunity of a lifetime, be very skeptical. And if you badly treat and take advantage of people, karma will at some point get you. And sometimes that karma is called Chris Martin of Coldplay. Viva la vida.
Now picture this. You're chilling at a Coldplay concert, vibes are perfect, Chris Martin is basically singing to your soul, and then the kiss cam pans to a couple who look like they just got caught smuggling fireworks through airport security. Kristen jerks her head away so fast, you'd think she saw the IRS. Andy? Oh, Andy looked like he'd just seen his entire career flash before his eyes. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Chris Martin sending out a warning to concertgoers days after an appearance on the big screen had a man and woman ducking for cover.
Yeah. Oh, look at these people. All right, come on. You're okay? Having an affair or very drunk.
The Coldplay frontman's assumptions seemingly accurate, as the man, identified as married astronomer CEO Andy Byron, has since resigned from his position. The woman he was spotted getting close with? That's the company's head of HR, Kristen Cabot, who Byron is not married to.
Even Chris Martin had to comment. Either they're having an affair or they're just really shy. Sorry, Chris, but the internet knew better. They weren't shy. They were caught. TikTok did what TikTok does best, sleuthed. Within minutes, a user who clearly worked at Astronomer posted that infamous footage, tagging it with the now iconic line, "Oh my God, is that our CEO Andy Byron and HR Chief Kristen Kitt?" And just like that, the dam exploded.
Who blew the whistle? The 2 executives caught on that now infamous Coldplay kiss cam were first identified on a TikTok account of someone who apparently works at the company. Oh my God, that looks like Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Astronomer Chief People Officer Kristen Cabot.
And this wasn't some nosy fan guessing. This person knew Kristen's job title, their marital statuses, the full backstory. It was all laid bare. That concert became a full-blown corporate crime scene, and the reputation that died that night? Astronomers. Turns out the person who dropped the bomb was a recently fired employee, and they weren't just bitter, they had receipts. According to them, this affair was an open secret. Everyone knew, no one said a word.
The text groups and chains of former employees are like everybody's laughing their ass off. Byron was also accused of having a reputation for being toxic and aggressive.
Many people in the company knew that he was sleazy, previously worked for him. Moral of the story, don't go to a Coldplay concert.
Let's take a deep breath and go over this mess again. The CEO and the head of HR, the two people meant to enforce boundaries and protect everyone else, were allegedly sneaking around like teens grounded past curfew. And the employees, too terrified to speak. This wasn't some one-night scandal. This was a full-blown series, a corporate soap opera. We're talking favoritism, back-channel hiring, and Slack convos so damning they could light the whole building on fire. Allegedly, of course.
Which means he can do whatever he wants, and he can get rid of people however he wants, even if it's unjustified. There's a lot of companies, a lot of investors, a lot of employees that are relying on this man, Andy. Yet he's brazen enough to go to a Coldplay concert and not care who sees him. That's why this is such a big story. It's the HR department and the CEO essentially telling all of their employees, do as I say, not as I do.
And Kristen Kitt, let's talk about her. This was the woman hired to ensure workplace fairness, right? To protect the team, except instead she was allegedly climbing the ladder at warp speed, and not because of qualifications. The rumors, she got those fast-track promotions, that big influence, control over workplace culture. Basically, she played HR like a personal chessboard while cozying up to her boss in public at Coldplay in front of thousands. And when the jig was up, she vanished. Poof, that LinkedIn profile deleted quicker than Andy's integrity.
52-year-old Kristen Cabot's fate still hangs in the balance.
Andy Byron, and right down here is the Chief People Officer, Kristen Cabot, Chief People Officer. Although the weird thing is that if you click on their LinkedIn's, and poof, they're gone.
Eventually, the pressure got too hot. The board of astronomer finally stepped in and yanked the cord. Andy Byron resigned. Kristen Kitt gone. No statement, no sorry, no attempt at dignity, no press release, no, we're learning and growing, nothing. They ghosted the fallout like a pair of cowards while the new interim CEO was left to sweep up the shattered glass of a once shiny empire. And get this, the New York Post went with the headline, Dumbotron, oof.
This requires, to me, not one, but 2 resignations.
Even Fortune magazine is calling it. This thing is about to wreck astronomers' culture, reputation, and maybe even its financial future. All over one dumb moment on the Jumbotron.
So I'm in HR, and I'll tell you exactly what's happened in the last 12 hours with the CEO of Astronomer and the head of People, that they're having an affair and it's been found out. First off, she's already been scrubbed off the company website. But this is part of probably a very big investigation that is happening right now. They're dedicating a ton of resources to, but also concurrently, while this is happening, because of all this media attention and social media attention that's been transpired, they need a response. Like, they have a PR crisis team just figuring out, all right, what do we say? What do we do? And, obviously, there's going to be heads that are probably going to roll right now. They're going to find out who knew, what was said. Were they doing this during company time?
Meanwhile, the rest of us still rewatching that kiss cam clip like it's the Zapruder film. It's iconic. But then out walks Megan. Yep, his wife, the real MVP. No dramatic Instagram story, no teary interviews, no cryptic quotes, just quiet, boss-level energy. She simply dropped his last name from her socials and walked away like a woman who already knew her worth. That is how you end a chapter, with silence that screams.
Eagle-eyed observers online noted his wife has already changed her Facebook profile, removing her married name.
His wife has now deactivated her account. The wife later dropped her married name on her Facebook account.
That one quiet move, more iconic than anything Andy has ever accomplished. Meghan became the internet's favorite symbol of dignity and revenge. Just quiet, cold, and classy.
What a class act. Go Meghan. Get that divorce lawyer and get the money. Okay,
so let's be real. This was never just about an affair. This was a total breakdown of leadership. Andy Byron wasn't just unfaithful. He was careless, arrogant, and truly believed he could sneak around with his HR chief at a public concert and not get caught. Delusional. And Kristen, she didn't just cross professional lines. She incinerated them. She allegedly torched the entire playbook, then danced on its ashes with Andy clinging to her in public like a lovesick teenager. A complete HR horror show. And Meghan, she said nothing. And that silence, louder than the kiss cam, louder than the gossip, louder than anything. So now we wait. Will those Slack messages leak? Will Astronomer ever recover? And girl, will Kristen Kitt ever dare to reactivate that LinkedIn? Thanks for watching, and if you like this tea, check out my other videos up top.